Spurs fans, we have 2 more spots open on our roster. Who's going to get them? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. A crazy week so far in the NBA. Could it get crazier for our Spurs? We do have the 2 open spots. I found an article from Oops Hype about the current available players. They have them ranked by position. I thought we'll dig into that, but I got to jump into the salary cap first. And while, of course, I'm doing so, any players that you want on this list or on this thumbnail that the Spurs could reasonably afford, because we do have to acknowledge the salary cap. Right now, Spurs fans, we have 10 active players under contract, and that makes up $143 million. We have our 2 draft picks, Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant. That makes up $17 million. Then we have Luke Kornet's contract that'll be on the books, which is we're just going to round up to $10 million. I'm reading 2 ways that they do not go against the cap, so Riley, Minix, Harrison, Ingram, don't have to worry about that. With everybody here, that total is $170 million. That's over the salary cap. Salary cap was it 155? Now I'm drawing a blank. Should have wrote it down. The luxury tax amount is 188. So that gives us, we'll just say, about $15 million to spend on our 2 active roster spots. I am not an expert with the non-MLE and MLE stuff. I freely admit that. That's the mid-level exception. Some of you know it pretty darn well. And we still have some room to get some guys. No way I see we're going over the luxury tax unless we're competing for a title. So there's our roster. If you're wondering, TSR, how are we over the salary cap with this roster? Well, there you go. You got De'Aaron Fox at 37, Devin at 27, Harrison Barnes at 19, and Kelman at 17. 37 and 27 is 64, 19 is 83, and 17 is 100. Boom. 100 gone already. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the available players. I started off with the power forward list, which is really lean. Not a lot out there. Chris Boucher from Toronto, mobile big man who hits some threes and blocks some shots. Decent lob target, but sometimes tries to do too much on offense. I guess I'd rather somebody tries to do too much that doesn't do anything. His salary last year was about $10.8 million. So unless he took a pay cut, is this a player you want? I don't see us getting him. All right, I don't think he's coming back, but Trey Lyles, who was, oh my gosh, he was picked on in this channel. I can't tell me how many live streams I saw where it was Trey Trash Can Trey Lyles or Trey Trash Lyles or Trash Lyles. Hey, he's still in the NBA. Made $8 million last year. Not getting him. No. All right, so because some of you are saying, let's go get Bobo, he's going to be available, or he is available at this moment, and his salary last year was $2.4 million, which I believe is pretty close to the league minimum, if it's not the league minimum. The Spurs can afford him. He's a 7-footer. Apparently, he's just as good as Wemby. It's not me saying that. If you know, you know. Maybe not just as good as Wemby. Same player. I have not heard good things about his attitude. If the Spurs were if they were to interview him first and say, hey, we think we can straighten this guy out, or he has straightened himself out, because some players might look at their career in the moment and go, you know what, I'm making some mistakes here, I'm burning some bridges, I need to make things right so I can keep playing for another 3, 5+ years, whatever it may be, a decade. They talk to him, they got a good vibe from him, and he's willing to put in the work, then this is a maybe. It would bring some size in. But I very, very not much likely. And I think that's actually all. Yeah, that's get to the Canada. That's all I had for the power forwards. And some of these power forwards and center spots are kind of half a dozen of one, 6 in the other. All right, the guy in the thumbnail, because I know some of you wanted him. DeAndre Ayton, bought out by the Portland Trailblazers. A huge talent, but one with issues surrounding his focus level from game to game. And there's a viral thing going around where he's playing against, is when he's on the Suns. He's on there in defense, kind of standing in the paint. Then he kind of thinks about coming out. Then he steps back, thinks about it. He just kind of standing there. I haven't seen a lot of film on the guy. Is that the big rap with him? That a lot of times he's just standing around, not putting any effort in? Because that ain't going to fly. I ain't going to fly with Wemby. That's going to fly with the team. That's not Spursing. There's other concerns with him as well. This would have to be a situation where 2 things would have to happen. They bring him in. They have to talk about what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? He says, I want to play for the Spurs. Not only do I want to play for the Spurs, I'm going to take a prove-it contract, not $34 million, not $24 million, not $14 million. League freaking minimum. If you want to play for us, prove it. Take the league minimum. That's the only way I would want DeAndre Ayton on this team. Not going to happen, but that would be the prerequisite. Hey, you just got paid from Portland. All right, Moritz Wagner from Orlando. All signs look like he's going to re-sign with Orlando, so he's here for now, but he'll be gone tomorrow. Al Horford, if we want to go, really want to go aging vets, Al would be the choice. I believe he's staying in Boston, especially now they lost Luke Cornett. They're probably going to re-sign with the Celtics. All right, Precious Achiuwa. I'm intrigued a little bit. Mobile big man who can defend, switch as well, and who is very solid rim protector, more effective on defense than on offense, but can finish pretty well around the rim, and last season he made $6 million. Is that a player if he wants 6 again, guys, is that something that fits? It fits salary cap-wise, but there are some exceptions old TSR doesn't know about that would stop us from signing a player like this. Could we get him for 4 or 5? Maybe not. All right, we got some more players. I'm just going to kind of just do a drive-by on because there's this list of centers was 20 long. But I want to stop at some familiar faces. All around me are familiar faces. DeAndre Jordan. As a third center, made $3.3 million last year. Got to expect $3 million or less this year. Would you take DeAndre Jordan as an emergency situation, limited playing time type center? What I don't want to see, Spurs fans, is yes, I like the Luke Cornett signing. We got Wemby, but if one of them goes down, who's our backup big? We should have three guys on the team, and right now we have the 2. I'd be okay with this. Not thrilled, but for close to the league minimum, sure. Mo Bamba. Tell me when will you be mine? Tell me Mo Bamba, Bamba, Bamba. If you get that song reference, kudos to you. Made $2.6 million last year. Have not heard good things about his work ethic. Again, interview situation, league minimum, maybe, but this is a probably not. And last but not least, because I saw him on here, the Bassinator himself, Charles Bassey, which brings us to our guy, Spurs fans. Charles Bassey and Bismack Biyombo. Rock in a hard place. I like Charles. Can't stay healthy. I see the Spurs moving on from him. Bismack Biyombo, as an emergency backup center, if he's going to take around the league minimum again, sure, he's also a vet. One of the few guys that'll be north of 30 on the roster. It's Harrison Barnes. It's 33? I think Cornett is 30 or turns 30 this season, and that's it. So bringing another vet, a vet that did an admirable job, all things considered, last year on a budget salary, sure. We have 2 roster spots. Bringing another big is roster spot number 14. Can we find another shooter? Maybe there'll be another video in the future. My question to you, Spurs fans, is anybody that I talked about with you today, somebody that you would want on the team for a reasonable price? If you want DeAndre and he wants $30 million next season, it ain't happening. We're not going over the luxury tax. Looks like we have about $15 million to spend. Maybe it's even less. But this is what's out there, unless we bring back our own guys. Mambu's gone, not an option. In case somebody haven't heard, Sandro Mamakilishvili signed a contract with the Raptors. Good luck in Canada. Hey. And as far as Bassey and Biyombo, I don't know what the team's going to do. But they do. And that's their job, right? Drop the comment down below. Hit the TSR Sports channel. Subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. I thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.